Thank you for watching another episode of the She Raises Studios podcast. We're going to be talking today a little bit about positive disruption, maybe even some rule breaking, and what kind of future that we're building here. So I'm excited to be talking about some of these topics because they kind of get overlooked a lot. And I think it's going to be fun, obviously, talking to you about it because you're definitely a disruptor in everything that we've been building together, and women know that. So they look forward to hearing your take on disruption, positive disruption. So are you excited about this conversation?
Super. Been waiting for like 5 years, 3 months, 2 days, and 4 hours, and 3 minutes.
See, she's been counting. So what would you say is one of the major things that has been on your mind lately about positive disruption?
Well, I think that, first of all, the word disruption, people take it as a negative, right? But positive disruption to me is like when you're saying things that most are afraid to say, but they're positive things. You're taking actions that most people are afraid to take, but they're positive actions. So kind of getting outside of your comfort zone. Times 10.
Yeah. So it's like breaking a little bit of the silence and what are people afraid to say, but that can create those positive outcomes. Yes. So yeah, they're going to be hard conversations, but they're worth it. That's the point. So when we talk about rules and refusing to follow those rules, and I would say you're one of those people, right? Do you think so?
I would say so. I have my own Hanna rule book. So I would definitely say I've never been one to follow the rules, not in a bad way, but just more, I think it's important to walk to the beat of our own drum and stay unique to ourselves and not try to fit in. I remember a time when you and I wanted to fit in. That's all we wanted. We just wanted to fit in, have a seat, be welcomed in. And I think we found out in a pretty short time that was not going to be the case.
Well, I also just think we didn't know what that looked like yet. I feel like we were so new to certain aspects of it that we went in pretty naive and came out more raw than when we started, if that makes any sense.
Oh, definitely. We went in, ready, right? We were excited. We had no idea what competition was. We didn't really think that we would be seen as the space for women empowerment. I think we were honestly at that point trying to empower each other, right? And so what began to evolve was larger, I think, than you and I were ever really anticipating to happen. But as we exponentially grew, that's when we saw that it wasn't, hey, come here, wow, we're so happy for you. We kind of saw the opposite happen, and we were breaking rules that we didn't know were considered rules. And so,
So what's a business rule everyone follows that you think is outdated?
Outdated is how we network.
Okay.
The old thing was go in with the business card, try to introduce yourself to everyone. But it's superficial. So I think that would be for sure one is how we're networking. Number two, what kind of things are we doing virtually online? Yeah. Because we are still doing both. So I think a lot of the methods that are happening now are a little outdated than what they once were. We still have pandemic kind of hangover.
Yeah, and I think people are reinventing the whole business card thing too. So like there's new ways that people are sharing their business and it often uses technology. So we're tapping our phones on each other's phones. There's a lot of creative things. So I would love for people to kind of share in the comments like what they're using in replacement to business cards. What creative ways have you been networking? We always want to learn those, right? Because they're fun. And then what's something we're doing that makes people uncomfortable?
Well, we have hot seats. We ask questions, rapid fire questions, public speaking. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, I thrive on stage. And then they're on there and they're like, whoa, but getting out there like that, not hiding behind the screen, all these in-person things that we're doing, I think is a big game changer and giving women the shot.
I would say so. And then just for a moment, because I'm thinking of someone like myself who is shy, who is afraid to kind of come out of their shell. It's very uncomfortable to try to get on stage and share your story and your voice. So what would you say to someone like myself who knows that there's potential there? Like your face, you're ready to answer this one. Because we need people like you to push us out of our comfort zone. I know what my answer is, but I'm just curious from your side of it. How would you help someone like myself? That's not me, because you've already helped me.
I say this all the time. We're all human, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all do the same thing. So what separates us? What is it? Right? Like once you really start thinking about it, and you get up there and you do it, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, I could tell you, I've fallen in front of a room of people from the stage or to the stage. I don't remember if I fell in it or around it. So that was pretty bad, right? Yeah. But here I am.
Yeah.
So I think once you kind of silence it's the confidence. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's just exercising that confidence and knowing like no matter what happens, even in this podcast, right? We're going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. We already did this morning. Yeah. Well, at least I did. And you make them fun. Mm-hmm. That's the fun. That's what my thought is make it fun. Like, don't worry about what everybody's thinking. Just go have fun.
I agree. I think if you can do it with someone you're comfortable with to kind of maybe pull out that comfort zone, like I'm going to pull that from you. I'm going to try to pull your confidence and put it on my heart, right? And then go walk on that stage and do your thing. So it's like little incremental things. Go at a pace you're comfortable with, but don't stay stagnant.
And don't compare yourself to someone else.
Definitely.
Because your style, the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you move, like all of that's different. Like everyone is so unique. So own that. Mm-hmm. I always say own you because you're you and there's no one else like you. And that's pretty cool. Because imagine if there were two of me, we would be, wow.
I can only imagine. So why do you feel people fear disruption?
Because they see it and hear it as a negative. Immediately when you hear the word disrupt, our mind goes to a negative thing, but there is positive disruption. And also people fear what they don't know or understand.
Mm-hmm. And I would think that it's when there's uncomfort that comes from disruption, and it kind of can cause a little bit of anxiety in individuals. Because like you said, if you don't know what to expect, mm-hmm. I think it's like the unknown is the fear part of it. So there's individuals who truly thrive in that. It's kind of weird, but they do. Like some people are excited for the unknown part. And it's like we need to meet in the middle for those who are terrified of it versus those who that's all they live for. You know, there's a happy medium. And I think it's about breaking it down and trying to be very logical. And then you can bring in the emotion to it.
So you just described you and I.
Pretty much. But who's who? That's the question. Do people know?
I'm pretty sure you do.
Probably. What's the difference between being reckless and being disruptive?
Reckless is when you haven't done the research. There's a difference of disrupting, right? But disrupt with knowledge, mm-hmm. where reckless, saying or doing or taking actions against things that you really don't have the fundamental understanding or education to back what you're doing, I think is super reckless.
I wholeheartedly agree. Basically speaking on ignorance.
Yes.
And preaching that ignorance.
Basically.
And ignorance is, people always take that as like, oh, that means you're being dumb. It doesn't. It means you're not aware of knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's what ignorance is. And so it's not to be perceived as like, oh, you're putting someone down. No, it's you're aware of the fact that they're not fully in the know. They're not fully knowledgeable about a topic. So,
yeah.
I know. I just feel like ignorance gets a bad rap a lot. That word. It's a trigger word for people. I agree. You have to know what you're talking about, at least to some extent, and be open-minded to being wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're not open to being wrong or having a different perspective, that's going to close off a lot of doors. I say all the time, I tell anyone who I work with closely, research, mm-hmm. learn, educate yourself. We'll never know too much. And the more we know, the more we can utilize it, we can leverage. And that is positive disruption.
Absolutely. Yeah. Knowledge is power. And you always tell the team, you guys do your research, make sure you're looking into this, look into the latest publishing, look into the latest this and that. And everyone's like, huh? Because they're thinking you're going to do it all or I'm going to do it all. But then you empower them to do it. You say, take initiative, do this, do that, right? And they do. Our team is very receptive to doing the research and even things that we didn't think they've been working on. So I love our team. They're really awesome.
Yeah, me too.
What's a rule you have broken that changed your life?
Gosh, that's a long list. Wow.
We'll pick a positive one though.
That's a long list too. I think I wouldn't necessarily call it a rule that I broke, but after being told no so many times based off of like our how many followers we have or don't have, or how small or big people think we are. You know, a lot of times we've been underestimated. Matter of fact, pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped caring and said, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to do it my way instead of what they think it should be. And so I kind of picture like our map. When we first started, it was like this straight, right? But now it's like, U-turn, you know. And so I don't know if it's really breaking rules, but I definitely, when someone tells me no, I'm like, ooh, gas. That's gonna put fuel in my gas tank, and we are going far.
Steven's gonna have fun with that.
So
that's good.
So when you tell me no, it's gas in my fuel tank. It's also called petro.
Oh my gosh.
And it's going to want to make me go faster, farther than even I could have imagined.
And I've seen it happen. I've seen when you get those calls and you're like, you don't even know what this person just told me. And they don't even know what they just fueled inside me.
Yeah.
And then when she says it like that, I'm like, oh shit, we're in for it right now. What's about to happen? The team needs to be ready because there's some changes coming. Yeah. But it's great because it's always been something that has really changed the course of what we're doing, but also the outcome.
Yeah, it has. I've always wanted to know though, and I hope this becomes a podcast one day. I have a list, not going to lie, of all the people who said no.
Okay.
And I want to go back and interview them and ask them why. Because now they'll talk to us. But what made them say no in the first place? Was it fear? Was it competition? Was it not taking enough time to like really get to know, like do the research on who we are? Like, what was it? What do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of all of it, but it depends on the individual. Some that come to mind, it was very much so competition. And in their head, we were a scary thing for them because there's two of us. And a lot of individuals are doing business alone, right? So when you feel like you're coming, when you see a team coming, you're like, oh shit, they've got it. We need to be careful. Let's suppress instead of building together, right?
Yeah.
And we could have built together. That's the thing. And we wanted to. And we still want to. We still always try to link arms with individuals. That's why we build a community. Another thing I would say is a lack of seeing the true vision, like individuals and some entities not fully understanding because they didn't speak to us in depth and get to know us as individuals, right? And they just saw social media posts back in the day. That wasn't the whole story. And it's still not the whole story.
Right?
It's just not. There's so much that's still developing as we speak, right? It's going to be interesting when we actually write about it.
Breaking news.
But we have to talk about it, right? It's our fault too, because we do need to talk about it. We have a huge story. We have a lot of things happening behind the scenes all the time. We need to talk about it. So I guess we got to put that reflection back on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Living in fear. I called her out, guys. I called her out.
No, we do. You know, I think that, but this doesn't just go, by the way, for the solo people who said no. These are other like spaces where they preach, you know, collaboration and we're like, hey, you know, let's do this together. And it's like, no, there's no reason. It's no.
But what have we learned from them?
Lots.
The power to say no as well. Like
Yes.
when something doesn't, because we're like, why were we so afraid to say no when we made bad decisions and doing certain things?
Yeah.
Others weren't. So we've learned a lot. I love it.
I suppose we've learned a lot, but I think that, I do numbers. I'm a numbers girl and I study like crazy. It's crazy because I was not that great in school. But now I look at all the no's statistically actually have a negative ripple in the women's economic system because the gatekeeping is so real. And so a lot of women who get told no, they stop. For me, it's a fuel. For you, it's a fuel. But a lot of times they stop. And so what's happening for you gatekeepers and you non-collaborative peeps, you're stunting someone else's growth out of maybe not understanding, not having enough education information, or for the simple unhealthy competitive reasons. Because I made a post the other day. I tagged you in it. You didn't respond. We'll talk about that later. But I said, we never opened to be Forbes.
I saw that one.
We only wanted to just create something initially for you and I. And what it turned into, we still to this day don't want to be someone else or something else. We still want to be us. We have a unique secret recipe that no one could take, and they have tried, right? I could count on both hands how many times people have tried and still do to this day. And that's okay, because that used to make me really upset, as you know. But now I'm like, fuel, petro, gas, go, right? Because we know what we bring to the table. We know what we offer. So researching, understanding, and not being afraid to know how to work together is what's really going to elevate the entrepreneurial space and all of the different niches that are out there.
Yeah. And just to pivot back for a second, when we're talking about those individuals who are doing the same thing we're doing, right? Which is fine. That's not the issue. It's more about how they want to bow it by putting us down and attacking things.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. We are obviously empowering individuals to go and do their thing, make business,
Yes.
and boost the economy and do all the awesome things that come with what it is that we do on a day-to-day, right? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the more of it, that's great. It's more about like the intent behind it, the attacks behind it, the causing the negative disruption, because people remember negativity way more than they'll remember positivity. And that if you affect someone's business, that's an attack. You know, that's the part that's bad. Bad business, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
But I will say, nothing lights me up more than seeing another woman or man win when they set out to do their journey. And especially when we get to be a part of it, I think it's really cool to watch the growth and seeing them step into 6-7 figures, seeing them step into the next level of their life, their health, their wealth, like all of those things. And knowing that we got to be a part of that, that's what lights me up. That's what I cling to. And I don't let the other stuff derail me like I did before, which is really freeing and exciting.
I think now we know who's the emotional one just by that.
A little bit.
No, we both are. We come from it from different angles, and we teach each other a lot about like our mindsets, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool because we level each other out. It's a lot of fun. I think we just love psychology so much. And I openly do, but I know you do without even being open about it.
Oh, I do. And I think passion, we have a passion for seeing others succeed and grow. And I think that comes from our background, how we were both raised. We're grown women, obviously I'm the older, but you get wiser with time, but you also become more raw and open. And that's pretty powerful too.
I agree. So why do you feel so many people wait for permission?
I don't know. It's like this permission slip they're waiting to get signed. Like back in school, you needed a permission slip to go on a field trip. You needed a permission slip to go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. And why do we? I don't ask anyone for permission to do anything. And maybe that's part of that rule breaking thing we were talking about. But I think it comes from wanting to be, they want confirmation. They want someone to say, you should do that, right? Or sometimes it involves validation. Sometimes it's a combination of things, like they're afraid, so they need that second person to say, no, go, you know. They need that support. It's several things, but the fact is we really don't need it.
I agree. It's that, like, I hope someone sees what I'm doing and agrees that I'm on the right track. They're looking for that support. But the real question is it required?
No.
Exactly. It's not required. No. Give yourself permission to do what you know is best for you, right? And as long as you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting others, why not?
Exactly.
I just want people to know that, because there's so many people waiting for someone to give them that permission. And if that's what you really need, then here you are. We're telling you right now, but you don't need us to tell you. You can tell yourself. Let's talk about what starting over means.
Oh, gosh. That's daily. Can we just...
Yeah.
I mean, it's daily.
Why do you say that? What does starting over mean for individuals when they're either at the beginning of something, the middle of something, the end of something? There was no end, but what does that look like?
I mean, starting over could be as simple as, like, tomorrow I wake up, I start my day, and I'm changing something that I did the day before. Starting over could be starting a new relationship, starting a new business. It's so much. And so I think it's great. First of all, when you start over, it gives you the chance to do things the way you wanted to do them the first time around, without the permission slip, maybe a little less fear, a lot more support, a lot more wisdom, which is why, we talk about this sometimes, launches, right? So what happens when a launch fails? You start over. Right? What happens when someone says no? You start over. What happens when you move? You start over. So is starting over bad, or?
I think it's empowering.
Yeah.
I think every topic you just said, like every viewpoint of it was refreshing.
Cool. It's there's like, and the fact that you get to wake up and start over each day is like,
yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's genuinely something so beautiful and powerful. And it's how you go about that, that restart. What are you going to do differently? Not everything has to have a negative look on it. You can spin anything into a positive.
Yes.
Pretty much anything. So you have some questions here. And this is more for you guys. So what would you build if you were starting over? Who would you become if you were starting over? And to me, this is like a little mini masterclass of that from you. So I don't know. I just think it's really cool. You asked some great questions, and I think starting over is powerful. So
if I was going to start over, and this actually was the conversation I had yesterday with a couple of people, and they said, Aunt Fernay, and this is my nieces and nephews, if you got to be a grown-up all over again, what would you do? Can you imagine what I said?
No, because you surprise me every time. So no.
I would be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I do remember that. And you would be an incredible stand-up comedian. I see it. Because when it's raw, when it's just you're freaking hilarious. Good luck to individuals listening to your comedy show, because it is rated R. I will say that.
It's rated H for Hannah.
Let's talk about what industry needs to be disrupted next.
Ooh, public relations.
Okay, I was going to say, what comes to mind first? You already said it. See, I don't have to prompt you. You just know.
Public relations. Man, are you not tired of seeing this same crap on television? Yeah. The same stuff in all the magazines. 40 under 40, 30 under 30, the same goofball on television running his mouth all the time. What about the men and women in the communities who are doing these amazing things? They're the everyday man, everyday woman, living these extraordinary lives, contributing to others, building up the youth. You want me to keep going? And none of those stories ever get told in the media. Why? Because legacy media only wants to focus on the big names that already have the followings, the big names that make us all look dingy. We have people representing us that make us look like we are imbeciles, and we're not.
Yeah.
And so media, public relations needs to change. How it's even done needs to change. Every business needs to have it. And there are several prongs to public relations. It's not just being picked up in the media, but it's reputation management. It's the growth, public relations. Like, your publicist needs to be able to see the future before you do. They have to really know who you are, who you serve, what the transformation is, and also help you. They have to find that disruptive, positive disruption, and say the things that most don't say. Right? But then it's getting the media to pick that up and feature those things. But also PR isn't just reputation management. It's not getting picked up. It's also in the in-person rooms, the proximity, the opportunity, all of those things. So I think you guys are in for a real twist when it comes to public relations, because a lot of it too is now going AI, which that's actually really exciting. When we think about it, because all the long hours that we've spent with our clients over the last 5 years, and it is a lot. For those of you who are in PR, you know what I'm talking about. So when you have a little extra tool to help you, then you can lean in more to your client and better represent them even more. So
AI is definitely disrupting it.
For sure. And I think you're going to see more and more, and you are seeing this, through the creator economy. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars. People are not waiting to be picked up anywhere or hiring public relation firms like they were before. They're just creating their own stuff. We're living proof of that. We get that.
Yeah. I mean, we knew that was the intention behind it. It was going to happen slowly, but
yeah.
And there's still more stuff that we're doing to disrupt that. But so some industries that we've talked about behind the scenes that really need some disruption, like you said, publishing, media, networking, events, women's leadership, the creator economy, and education. But I have a question for you. If you could redesign these industries from scratch, and you can pick one, what would they look like?
Well, if I was going to start PR from scratch, I wouldn't focus on individuals who are already established. My focus would be all emerging men and women. And I would build those stories and make sure that they're just as important as what we're currently watching today.
My follow-up to that would be why? Why emerging?
Because have you been seeing the same people for the last 20, 25 years? Okay.
It's just like, that was my answer. But hold on.
Okay, so what'd you learn?
Let me go a little, I'll give you an example. Let's say yourself. Would you consider yourself emerging or more established?
I always want to be emerging.
Okay. So there it is right there. Explain that concept and why.
Because I always want to be evolving. I don't want to stay stuck anywhere. And I want to be emerging to whatever is coming next. I don't want to be the dinosaur. I don't want my business to match my age.
So you basically just gave everyone the pro tip. I hope they caught that one.
I hope so too.
Because your point was, it's not that we don't want to see the same people. It's that we want to see them continuously grow, transform, bring others with them, and also give other individuals the spotlight too, right?
Yes.
So that's the point. I'm glad you answered in that way. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the people who I've grown up watch and love and admire. But what about the little girl who just invented, the latest silicone-based something for spaceships? I mean, what about her? Why isn't she getting the attention? We have to empower our youth, our emerging youth. And also, I think we need to stop, especially in PR world, media world, we need to stop separating the ages. It's crazy. I mean, I get it. I don't say, ooh, let me run into the room with all the 30-year-olds, because quite frankly, we all know I can't keep up.
I would disagree with that.
The Cheeto party to remember I had to sit out. But I think when we have a combination of like all of the ages, I think you get to see what like true collab could look like, because you're getting the perspective from all the ages. But we keep wanting to separate and celebrate the different ages. Now, we used to do that, when you turned 1, woohoo, you turned 5, you go to kindergarten, woohoo, then you go to first grade, then fifth grade, then college. Like, that's great. But like, why do we have to separate the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and beyond?
It just depends on the situation. We don't have to.
But it happens all the time.
Yeah, it does. And I think it's a little bit to do with social media and how people are perceived, and, the filters and all the stuff. So I will give credit to the individuals who are empowering themselves to create their own media platforms and going out there. Like, that's where people are going nowadays. They want the real stuff from real people who are willing to talk about these things. So there is a place for it. But I think what you're saying is we need to make it the norm, the mainstream.
Yeah.
Make what's happening behind the scenes the norm and the mainstream. So we have some billion-dollar questions. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. What opportunity do most people completely miss?
Their strengths and the leverage that they have. Oftentimes they overlook it, underestimate it, so therefore they don't use it. So again, it goes back to that. They need to have like that validation, that support, when oftentimes you're locked and loaded and you don't even realize it.
I love that. So basically lean into your own strengths, stop minimizing what you bring to the table, and take action on it.
Yeah, and the confidence.
Yeah. So what trend will define the next decade?
Ooh. I mean, it's already here. AI.
Okay.
It's already here. But it's how we let it define, right? So how much do we play a part of this, right? Because we keep hearing this conversation quite often. Oh my God, nobody wants AI. And then the people who love AI are like, wait a minute, this is a tool. It's not meant to take over. So we have to find the happy medium, but it's definitely going to be AI for a long time.
Yeah. What are people investing too much time in?
Social media.
Okay. And why is that bad in this situation? Like, what's happening?
They invest so much time in social media. Everyone's follow my IG page, connect with me here. The reality is this. You need your own ecosystem, your own platforms, because you don't own your social media. And so if all of it were to close tomorrow and you've built a business solely that depends on social media, you're going to be so sad. And so I think that social media needs to be social. And when you do post, I think it needs to be super intentional and also truth. We see all this vanity. Look at me, I made $460,000 in 1 month. But what did it take the 7 years prior to that 1 month to get to the 460? So there's a lot of untold, and there's a lot of, I don't want to say lies, but lies. And so if social media was gone, what would people do? Pick up a phone, meet in person, use an email, create a platform, and the list goes on and on.
It goes back to that trust factor. You're dealing with, like, whatever the company is, the brand is, people want to speak to the person behind it. And I mean, we talk about it all the time. We get told that all the time, that they sign up for stuff because they know you, or they know myself, mostly you. But we're working on that.
I'm like the mother-daughter duo. By the way, in case you guys are watching and really watching, my chair is shrinking down.
I was going to say that earlier.
I'm just going to kind of adjust this a little. Gotta love the She Rises Studios podcast, right? I would think, you know what? I think it would be magical if social media didn't exist anymore.
I think it would be refreshing.
It would.
Maybe not forever, just like,
I'm down for a 6-month break.
Yeah. I really don't go on it the way most people do. And that's kind of funny for someone my age. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
And I've been using it more recently, but what should people be paying attention to instead?
Their businesses. They need to be paying attention to how they're building them, where they're building them, and not looking at, like, don't just pay attention to the launch or the pre-launch, but you also need to look at the long game. Like, what's your entrance, your during, and your exit.
Absolutely. And who you're going to link arms with, because it's inevitable. You're going to have to make connections with individuals. You're going to have to lean in and ask for help sometimes. And that's okay. It's okay to do that.
I think it's really amazing when you come in contact with someone. As an example, we've been working with some national partners lately, and being able to be honest and say, what is that? What does that mean? And them not laugh at you, but actually say, oh, let me show you how this works. You should do this with She Rises Studios. You should implement this. That you want me to set you up with an appointment to the person who, things like that, I think would make a big difference. So finding the right support system, team, people who are always going to be honest, again, that want to see you win.
Yeah. And I think it's important to know that there aren't wrong questions, but there are better questions. Like, there are more intentional questions. There are ones that if you ask that, people know that you are looking for the right answers. Like,
yeah,
we pick up on that. The more conversations you have, you're like, oh, that was a great question. I know exactly what you're talking about, and here's what I did. Before we close this session out, do you have anything that you wanted to announce, go over, shed light on, or a closing, anything for our SRS community?
I would just say, we are approaching the release of Sheconomy in full effect. I'm very excited about it. And, you have a lot of choices out there to join networks, to become a part of something. But I think what separates this from the rest is the true support that they get from you and I. And the humility piece. And we're not expecting anyone to come in with anything but themselves, their strengths, like all of them, the strength, the weakness, the opportunity, the threat, the SWOT, right? So I think that when we're talking about this and when this opens on June 22nd, I think the world's in for a real big breath of fresh air.
I agree. And if you don't know what the Sheconomy is, it is a network, a platform, a home for women who are looking for those connections, but also it's building the like literally the economy for men and women in a combined force. So please check it out. We'll put it in the show notes. And I just want to thank everyone for watching another episode. Oh, go ahead. You want to say something?
Nope,
you're good.
I'm just smiling, so I'm happy.
Well, thank you all for watching another episode of the She Rises Studios podcast.